let's move on to our next question. We have a Facebook question coming up next. Looks like, social media is buzzing today. Harsh says that he owns a flat that he bought on a home loan in 2007. Now, after 4 years, this building was declared unsafe to live in due to a structural problem. It went into redevelopment in 2013. The building has been demolished and he is living in a rented house. Now, he wants to know what is the status of the home loan EMI in this scenario, since the flat against which he took the loan technically does not exist. So does he have to pay the EMI?
Yes, I mean, this is actually very similar to a situation. Let us say for a minute, just let's kind of deviate a tiny bit. What happens when you're buying a property from a builder who's pre-launching it or just about launching it? You are buying something which doesn't exist. It's only a piece of land. So you are in a similar situation like that. It's like an under construction property from all practical purposes, just that the case here is redevelopment and not that of a fresh new construction. Well, at the end of the day, you've taken the loan on your credentials for a particular property. You've obviously got an agreement. That agreement is under mortgage to the lender. So, every component of the loan is in place. So, which is why there is no reason why the EMI should not be applicable to you. Now, should you choose to default, or should you choose to not pay, or you're unable to pay for whichever reason because you're living in a rented place due to your own, with your own funds, then understand that, to take a loan in future would become a problem. And the bank really doesn't have too much of a recourse because that property itself doesn't exist. So even if they take over, what will they take over, really? So, but in the meanwhile, your CIBIL records will be completely messed up. You don't want your lender to do that. So at the end of the day, think about it this way. Whenever your property is going to be ready, it'll be ready. But in the interim, you're just paying off your loan. So, go ahead and continue paying that EMI. I hope everything really falls into place for you.
Kartik, I have another additional query to this. Now, he says that he had this... he was living in this place for 4 years when obviously he was servicing that loan, and I'm assuming he would be, also getting tax reductions on the interest repayment and on the principal repayment. Now, 4 years later, this building has been torn down. There is no structure right now. He is still paying his EMI, and like you said, like you advised, he should continue paying that. He should not default on it. Can he continue taking a tax deduction as well? What if the tax department comes home, if the taxman comes home and technically doesn't find a home over there?
Yes, I mean, it's a very relevant and a pertinent query. So the taxman comes home, the probability of that is kind of unknown. We've not seen something like that happening. Okay, but the provision very clearly says that you can take this deduction when you are in the house when it is a self-occupied property. So the law is very, very clear that it has to be a self-occupied property in which you are actually living. That's why it's called self-occupied property. So in the situation that you don't have that property, so in those financial years, I'm just applying simple logic, your deductions will be disallowed for those years. And then again, you're in a similar situation, accumulate it, and then take the deductions later on.
So treat it like a loan for an under construction property is what
absolutely,
you're saying.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's your answer there. Complex question, but very simple answer from Kartik.
You can watch live TV on our website, mpnow.in. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/magicbricksnow. And don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at magicbricksnow. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/magicbricksnow.